Today, we're taking a deep dive into the link between astrology and dance.
Definitely. I love that idea.
Yeah. So we'll be looking at a piece called Zodiac Signs and Dancers, The Stars Align on the Dance Floor by the Uncensored Dance Mom. Now, of course, it's not like, a prediction that every single person of a certain sign is, destined to be a certain kind of dancer.
More like a fun way to look at it.
Right, exactly. It's all about exploring those, sometimes surprising connections between someone's sign and how they move.
Yeah, finding those times when, the stars in our steps seem to align.
Totally. Okay, so the author's main point is that each sign, with all its own unique characteristics, might just naturally be drawn to certain dance styles.
It's about the energy that each sign expresses, right?
Yeah, like some music just clicks with you.
Yeah.
So let's kick things off with Aquarius. They're known for breaking the mold, so naturally our author sees them as drawn to experimental stuff, like contemporary dance or even crumping or contact improv, those kinds of things.
It fits, right? Because they're all about individuality and, that Aquarian drive to create something new.
Not afraid to stand out. Exactly. Now, let's switch gears from air to water time to talk about Pisces. The source we're looking at, it describes them as naturally drawn to dance that really emphasizes expressing emotions and fluidity, things like lyrical or modern dance.
You can imagine them moving almost like water, right?
Yeah.
Graceful and really expressive.
It's like they're channeling all those emotions into something tangible. Okay, now hold on tight, because next up, we have Aries bursting onto the dance floor. The source links them to, those high-energy styles. Think hip-hop, salsa, even things like African or Brazilian dance forms anything that lets them move with that fiery spirit.
Yeah, I can see that. Boldness, needing to move, that competitive fire at all tracks.
Not exactly wallflowers, that's for sure. Now, speaking of commanding attention, it's time for Taurus. This one might seem a bit unexpected, but our source actually connects them to styles that are about grace and really controlled movement, like ballet and contemporary.
It's about that Taurus groundedness. Remember, they're an earth sign, connected to the physical, and they really appreciate beauty. Even if it's hard, ballet is finding the beauty in those precise movements.
So interesting. You might think Taurus, they love comfort, but they also really crave that sense of mastery over their physicality. Okay, now get ready for a whirlwind, because next up we have Gemini, and things are about to get unpredictable.
Ah, yes. Gemini, the sign of duality. Always, flitting between interests, always curious. Our source calls them the dance world's chameleons, able to switch between styles like that.
Ballroom 1 minute, breakdancing the next. It's that classic Gemini love of variety.
And it's more than just that. It's that need for mental stimulation, too. It's what makes them so adaptable as dancers.
Okay, now grab your tissues, because up next is Cancer. The source we're using, it calls them the Zodiac's emotional storytellers. They gravitate to styles where every single move, it's like telling a part of the story. Contemporary, modern, that kind of thing.
Right, like they're expressing their inner world through every gesture and motion.
And not shying away from those deep emotions.
Not at all. Channeling them into art. And it's not always sadness. Cancers can express the whole spectrum of emotions that way.
Okay, dimming the lights, shining the spotlight. It's Leo time. Our source says Leos, they'd be drawn to any style where they can truly, shine, jazz, hip-hop, anything that really lets that natural charisma come through.
Well, they are the natural performers of the Zodiac, right? Love to entertain, love to captivate an audience.
Like they were born for the stage. Makes you wonder, do those dance forms attract those personalities, or is it more hardwired?
It really is a fascinating question. Do we choose those forms, or do they choose us?
Right. Which came first, But anyway, speaking of precision, our source says Virgos, they're often drawn to styles like ballet and contemporary, where everything's really thought out.
Yeah, because they're all about the details, right?
Yeah.
Their analytical minds, their dedication to, always improving. They'd be the ones in class, not just learning the steps, but understanding how each movement works,
And probably helping everyone else get their form right, too.
Totally. I mean, look at someone like Misty Copeland. The discipline just shines through.
Exactly. Okay, so if we're talking about partnerships, let's move on to Libra. And I think it's kind of obvious what their dance style soulmate would be. Anything that involves a partner, right?
Exactly. Ballroom and Latin dance, that's where our source puts them.
Yeah.
It's all about that balance, that sense of moving as one.
Those dances where, made for them. Libras are all about that, finding that equilibrium.
And don't forget that Libra elegance, those qualities would definitely come through in ballroom or tango.
Oh, absolutely. They'd be leading their partners and making it look effortless. Okay, but now get ready for a change in temperature because we're talking about Scorpio. Our source calls them like the intense ones, magnetic, even a little mysterious on the dance floor.
Totally. Styles like contemporary, flamenco, maybe even some types of hip hop, they can really tap into those emotions.
Definitely the type to leave it all on the dance floor.
Oh, for sure. Scorpios, they're known for that passion, that intensity. And dance gives them a way to express all that.
It's like they're not just dancing, they're telling a story. Okay, now let's get our passports ready because it's Sagittarius time. Adventure awaits.
They're the Zodiac's free spirits, right?
Hmm.
Our source describes them as being drawn to styles that have lots of spontaneity, improvisation, maybe even a global flavor.
Salsa, flamenco, maybe even some Bollywood.
Exactly. They're all about new experiences. And that includes dance from different places, different traditions.
It's not just steps, it's a whole journey.
Okay, last but not least, we have Capricorn, always the planner.
Our source says they'd probably be amazing at styles that need a ton of discipline, precision, like ballet, jazz, tap, things like that.
Yeah, those Capricorns, they put in the work, every practice, every step.
Exactly. They're ambitious. And in dance, that translates to some serious skill. For sure. But, even the most amazing dancers, they have those days where it feels like, the stars maybe aren't on your side. And our source actually mentions this specifically, those Mercury retrograde mishaps.
Oh, right, yeah, like when everything goes haywire. And for dancers, our author talks about the choreography getting all jumbled, forgetting steps, maybe even like a few missteps with your partner.
Oh, tell me about it. We've all been there. That moment when you completely blank on the routine.
It's bound to happen, right? Whether or not you blame it on Mercury. But, I think it's also a chance to, grow a little. When we mess up, we learn to improvise, to laugh at ourselves. It's a good reminder that even in dance, being perfect isn't everything.
Totally. It's about enjoying the movement, feeling the music, and sometimes it's even about those shared moments when it all goes wrong. Does your sign line up with your favorite dance style? Are you like the fiery Aries on the dance floor, or maybe more of a graceful, flowing Pisces?
And it's not just about finding your dance twin, We were thinking it's a bigger question. Do we choose the art forms that reflect who we are, or do those art forms shape us?
So interesting. Maybe it's both. This cosmic dance between who we are inside and how we express it. But either way, we hope this deep dive has inspired you to find your own dance journey no matter what your sign is. So until next time, keep exploring those connections and don't ever be afraid to dance like nobody's watching, even if Mercury is in retrograde.